There was some back and forth in chat. The X in Spy X Family is not pronounced.
It is not whenever you see that big X, not an actual X, but if you see that big square looking X, you never say them. So Hunter's like that. Gungrave, I think, is like that too. Yeah, you just ignore that X completely.
Is it?
It's a cross, is what it's supposed to be. You're crossing a spy with family.
Right. So is it a like in the Japanese? Is there also a cross there?
They use that to denote, like if they were writing things for like a series or whatever, they I think would still use that same character to denote, like you'd have something written out in like kanji or hiragana, whatever. You might have that X to be that. It's also supposed to look cool. So
right.
Yeah.
But so like that's actually is that an, I guess that what I'm asking is that an anime thing or is that a Japanese thing? Like is that just like a convention in anime, or is that actually like a part of Japanese?
It's definitely not
text?
It's definitely not part of their character set, like the native character set.
It's a style thing.
Yeah, it's something that they've used for style. They've also done.
Yeah, they would do it for manga too.
Yeah.
Maybe short story titles or something like that.
Because like.
Or like cool robot names or something like that.
Yeah, and like versus gets used a lot as well, right? You'll see Leighton versus Wright.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not technically a showdown between these two guys. They're both in the same game. They're both on the same side, essentially. But it's Leighton versus Wright. You're like, well, that's not really where you should use versus, because it's supposed to be pitting somebody against each other. But
they always try to play it up like
it is a showdown.
Lupin is like trying to get away with something, and then it's
Detective Conan's trying to catch him.
Conan's trying to catch him.
Yes, that's true.
Or the cat's eye is trying to beat him at his own game.
Right.
Like they're either better criminals or better detectives.
That's a fair point. Yeah.
And then you get this series, which is just pronounced Holic.
Yeah, triple X Holic.
Yeah, the 3 X's at the front are completely silent. You just say Holic.
But that's a different character than the Hunter X.
Yeah. All right, we did the thing, and I was very happy to have done it. Thank you, Kenoki.
And Clamp also has X, so that's...
Which you do have to
you
pronounce.
You do have to say that.
Because it's the only letter
part.
I mean, yeah. Of course, as a English speaker, we really have no high ground to stand on in terms of, how letters are pronounced. So, whatever. I just find that very interesting that it's like the traditional whatever, how that's actually supposed to be voiced.
Yeah, and then there's like weird common writer titles like Fies is just 3 5s in a row. Fies. Yeah.
Okay. There was Ooh.
O's.
O's. I'm sorry.
Yeah, common writer O's.
But it's the
just
triple
3
O.
O's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like at a certain point,
it's Forze just 3 4s.
It's the word 4 with Z and E on the end.
Like at a certain point, just draw a random picture and tell people how it's pronounced. Like
W is just double.
Like if you're not gonna, if the name is not gonna have any relationship with the actual letters, then it's just like just draw like a Prince doodle or whatever, and just be like, and then just have like a little pronounce. It's like that's how this symbol is pronounced is this.
So
because using regular letters, if you're not actually connecting them to any pronunciation, there's no point to having the regular letters are just like deliberately a trap at that point.
Well, let me tell you about the punctuation atrocities, Paul. So there was a show.
There's a sweet band.
It's a good name for a band. You're right.
Beach, it was a bad year. Okay, we don't talk about the punctuation atrocities.
So there was a show called Maho Sensei Negima. Everyone in chat is going, ah. And
the original one?
The original one.
Yeah.
And they made a remake of it, and they called it Negima with just, I think, an exclamation point, or was
it 2?
I think it was 2. Yeah, it was a remake, and then they did the second season of the remake, and it wasn't Negima with an exclamation point. It was Negima with an exclamation point and a question mark.
Negima?
Negima?
Yeah, Working did the same thing. They kept adding more punctuation
Yeah.
for each season.
Yeah, because Working, the actual title of Working has 2 exclamation points next to it. That's the first season. So when they did the second season, they had to have a 3rd exclamation point to say it was the second season. And I can't remember what they did for the 4th season. I think it was or the 3rd season, because they had to do something else that wasn't a 4th exclamation point.
Yeah.
But like again, are those intended to just denote the season? They're not
Yes.
intended to be voiced.
No, they're
They're
just
not. They're not actually being used as punctuation.
right.
They're just being used as kind of a cool looking character.
Yes, because Gintama had, I think, kind of because Gintama is just about taking the piss out of everybody in the anime industry if they can. So they were doing that for just having their name Gintama over and over and over as new seasons kept getting renewed, and then finally just there was like a break in the renewal process. There was like a season or 2 went by, and when they came back, they now had a prime tick next to their name. And then there was another season they took off, and when they came back again, they used the degrees symbol next to their name, which
Right.
made it impossible to write any of this stuff. And in fact, my
Yeah, you really have a lot of trouble with your like Google ability of your
Yes.
show. X is kind of a hard show to Google.
yeah, and so so that was kind of like that was happening, and then there was a show called Keijo, which was about girls in pools smacking each other with their hips and butts. It was
Breasts and butts.
breasts and butt. I'm sorry, that too. Well, the one girl also had like
Hypnotism.
hypnotizing cleavage.
They have magical powers because it's a sports anime.
Exactly. And Keijo is spelled Keijo and 8 exclamation points.
And we'll never know if they would have gotten more with more seasons.
Yeah.
They take him off.
And that was kind of the end of that. I think at that point, it was kind of realized that this is stupid, and I haven't seen any of that since. It's been great.
So I've got another one for you, Beej.
Oh no.
So there's this, I don't remember how long ago this was, but this is a sort of comedy, fantasy, isekai called Dog Days.
Uh-huh.
It's got another D in there.
Yep, this is the 2nd season.
Oh no.
This is the 3rd season.
They
Wait.
Tick tick.
they just add apostrophes at the end.
Uh-huh.
I
And
don't like
so those aren't actually apostrophes. Those are just like
Wait.
indicating that you do it more.
Is the Sean, are they meant to be like actual individual apostrophes or a double quote mark? Or are they meant to be the chong chong kind of thing that goes on the edge of the edge of a different of a kana to change like su to zoo?
I'm
Looks like
not
there's a
sure.
pen on the yeah.
Dog Day Zoo is what it looks like in katakana down there.
But they did add more
Yeah.
after the first one.
Oh, I don't
Yeah,
like that.
I honestly don't know. It's just to mark the different seasons.
My Japanese teacher in university.
In elementary
Not in elementary
school?
school, no. In university, she did she referred to the 2 marks. She just called them a chon chon or whatever like
Oh.
that. So it's like that's why I do it. I know it's not the right thing. The circle is I think she called it a maru, and I don't know if that's what they call it in Japanese.
Of course they would call a circle a maru.
because that's what it is,
Yeah.
right? But I don't. But she just said that's what those things were, and we just kind of took it on faith. It's like I guess that's what we call them. I don't know what the actual term for them
Yeah, I
are.
think
Yeah.
Dakuten or Tenten.
Ah.
I
Maybe
mean,
it
it's
was
some.
her being cute because if it's not,
Chong.
if she's not saying 10-10, she's saying chong chong. So
I mean, in some ways, it's similar to like the like so the but heavy metal umlaut,
yeah,
right? Where it's just like they add an umlaut over a letter, not without changing the pronunciation.
But the tick does change
Just 'cause they
what
thought
the
the
letter
umlaut sounds
is
cool.
Yeah.
in Japanese.
yeah. In Japanese,
Right.
if you put those ticks next to certain characters, it does change the sound. But I know where you're coming
Well,
with
but
this. It's
but those ticks aren't actually changing the English pronunciation of that word.
well, it can because if something has a Z sound in it,
Yeah.
you wouldn't use the one that has an S sound in it.
Or D and T or
Yeah.
H and G.
Yeah.
Like, are those did those seasons of Dog Days? Was it Dog Days?
Well, at the end that su was changed into a zoo. It had a Z sound instead of an S sound with the 2 little ticks next to
Yeah.
it. That su becomes zoo at that point.
So it's Dog Days.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess if you're
Or
going
Dog
to
Days.
Well, but this is the question: is like, I wonder if fans of this show pronounce the different seasons differently,
Probably
or
not.
whether they're intended to be, in the same
Yeah.
way that like a U with an umlaut is pronounced differently in the proper language.
right.
But
If you're just saying Motley Crue,
Yeah.
You're not really thinking about, oh, I mean to be sure I get all the things correct. Yeah.